This is a small figure of Gudea, one of the most well-known rulers of ancient Mesopotamia. It is made of diorite stone and is about 17 inches tall, although the most important part of its existence lies in how he is positioned. Gudea was famous for not wanting to have ultimate control over all of Mesopotamia, but only rule his small city-state. He strongly believed in governing through connecting with the people. He is seated, showing that he is not aggressive or superior to his followers. Rather, he wants to be seen as a more peaceful server to them. Similarly, his hands are in a praying position, and his cap is one of a priest, which shows his reverence to their beloved and worshipped gods. Lastly, his muscles are very defined throughout his body, which shows the viewer that although he is not oppressive, he is a strong leader, and his city-state was one to be reckoned with. Gudea ruled for a very long period of time and was successful because he connected with his people and was well respected for it.
This vessel and others were used in ancient China to offer food to the spirits of the ancestors. On this piece there are two handles, both bearing large animal heads with rounded horns, each handle with a trunk-like decoration on the interior arc. The various inscriptions on the vessel were most likely meant for its spiritual use. Sometimes the inscriptions were put on the inside of the vessel to be read by the ancestors that came to take the offerings. Because of the importance placed on the ancestors by the ancient Chinese, it was important for a ruler to be as connected to his past as possible. Rulers in the Zhou dynasty, such as King Wu, honored their relatives as well as upheld the belief in the mandate of heaven. The mandate of heaven was a concept that chose a line of rulers based on virtue. A successful ruler was one that connected with the people and was therefore virtuous. It is because of this mandate and strong moral values that the Zhou were able to overthrow the Shang. The people who were quite satisfied with King Wen, his son King Wu, and Wu's son King Cheng, so that their rule lasted for 879 years.
This image shows a bust of Solon, the ruler of Athens from 594 to 560 BCE. Solon's nudity demonstrates the little significance he puts on his portrayal to the citizens. He shows his modesty through his depiction as a server to the people. Solon won the people's favor through ways of establishing institutions that would ultimately benefit them. For example, he abolished slavery and canceled the debt of all the poor people to boost the economy. He was also welcoming to foreign craftsmen, which encouraged trade and commerce. His attempt to create a democratic political system was taken into consideration by the following three rulers and finally established during the rule of Pericles. Even after Solon's reign, the people showed their respect through this bust of Solon. Solon proved to be a ruler who connected with the people and established long-lasting institutions that won the people's favor.
This is a photograph of Mahatma Gandhi, who led the protests against British rule in India. He is a prime example of a leader who connected with the people because, rather than shouting his ideals at them, he led them in a peaceful protest quietly and efficiently. He is the modern equivalent of rulers like Gudea or King Wu or Solon. Gandhi led India from 1947 to 1978 when he was assassinated. During his rule, Gandhi was faced with the issue of a potential civil war between those in the northern area of India, which is now the independent country of Pakistan, and those in the south. He at first tried to dissuade them from fighting with his mere presence, reminding them of the values they had supported, and later simply fasting until the two sides were able to come to a peaceful agreement. In the end, this actually truly worked, and he won not only the support of his people, but foreigners as well.
This is a stela of Naram Sin, who was a successful ruler in ancient Mesopotamia by means of military force and fear. It shows a kind of hierarchy of power. First, Naram Sin is depicted as the largest of all figures at the top, holding weapons representing his strength and his power over the other people. Second, there are many people below him, illustrating that he is supported yet still superior. Third, the people falling at his feet, some bowing at his knees, while others are dead, are signs of his great military strength and the reverence required by his people. Lastly, the rosettes on the very top of this stela commonly symbolize the importance and protection in ancient Mesopotamia, which, in a way, led his people to believe that his rule was accepted by greater forces, such as the gods. This is an image of a small section of the 8,000 terracotta warriors discovered at Xi'an, China, near Qinshi Huangdi's massive tomb. These terracotta warriors were built to represent Qin Shi Huangdi's military power. They are all made out of a type of earthenware that is either a glazed or unglazed clay ceramic. The most fascinating depiction of the terracotta warriors is that they all have their own facial expressions, which make each unique in their own way. All warriors also were in full body armor, showing that they were prepared for war. Qin Shi Huangdi was born to be an emperor, as both his father and grandfather were kings during their time. It took no effort for him to become ruler. There was one reason why Qin Shi Huangdi had such great power from the time he ruled, and that reason was the size of his military. His military consisted of many men who had all been trained well for battle and whom had great battle strategies. They easily dominated every city-state they attacked because his army was always double the size of whom they fought and had more elaborate weapons, armor, and strategies. Even though Qin Shi Huangdi was able to establish great power through his military strength, he was not liked by his people for his strong dictation as a ruler.
This is an image of a hoplite soldier known as Leonidas, a strong military-based king who ruled over Sparta. He wears a helmet with a high crest and cheek blades. His body is positioned in a fighting stance. It was believed that the statue represented those that fought in the Battle of Thermopylae. From this image, the statue exemplifies Leonidas' strong military control. Everyone looked at Leonidas as a war god. He was respected for his bravery and military strength. However, Leonidas' rule was brief. After Leonidas' death, the Persian War, and an earthquake, Sparta started to deteriorate. Helots rebelled against the common people, and no one was able to reunite the city-state again. Clearly, Leonidas could not maintain power long enough for Sparta to prosper. Although he was a strong military-based ruler, his establishments and position as a ruler were short-lived.
This is an image of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi was a ruler in the country of Libya for 42 years before being assassinated in 2011 during the Libyan civil war. He did not gain his power through his military as strongly as Qin Shi Huangdi did, but Gaddafi did use his soldiers to kill many Libyan citizens through political movements. Gaddafi was also known for his elaborate clothing and for constantly wearing sunglasses both inside and outside. He was not at Qin Shi Huangdi's level of power and violence, though he was accused by critics of being a dictator who was responsible for many human rights abuses.